Hello and welcome to the Now Spinning Magazine podcast with me,
That's the one.
Bill Aston. Look, it's been quite
lively
before we haven't pressed the record button. But I'm absolutely wonderful, and it's to welcome Annie Haslam and Jim McCarty from Renaissance, one of the most beautiful and symphonic bands to come out of the progressive rock era. And Annie, your voice is like a fusion of classical, folk, rock influences, and the music that the band has created is timeless and so uplifting. So this conversation, the focus is about the history of Renaissance in conversation and these new concerts that you've arranged to start in November. And so I want to talk about that, and also perhaps go back and look at some of the memories as well from the golden period of the band. And I think Sue's got a few questions about your art, Annie, as well, because she's very interested in that. So first of all, welcome to both of you. I know that in 2024, wasn't it, you thought you did your farewell tour, so it was all done, all dusted, and now you thought it had reached a natural conclusion, and here we are on the cusp of some new concerts. But different, aren't they? These are stories and music.
Yeah, it was came out of the blue, actually. I retired the band, and then I had my knee replacement that I needed desperately in January. And so that was my main focus from then on, and then would be my painting. Oh, hang on a second. Comet, that's my cat, Comet. He's scratching something. I wonder whether I should... No, bugger, look at him.
I hope our cats behave.
Our cats will be waking up any minute now.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's the and then the main thing is, to carry on with my art. He sorry, right there. I might have to move him in a second. My God, I called him Comet. There's a good reason for it. He's like, he's all over the place. But anyway, so I had and actually it was beginning of September, and I had a message from a promoter who took us down to Edwardsville. They were the last two shows we did on the tour. They came out of the blue as well, right at the last minute, and so he said, Annie, I would like to bring you down to Edwardsville to do a one-woman show.
Wow.
So, I was speechless. Okay. I said, well, I don't think I'd be able to do that. Don't play an instrument. I mean, and then he broke and he said, no, he said, when you were down, you were telling all these stories and everything, and everybody was laughing. And it was so, everybody loved it. And he said, I think it would really work. And then right from the start, I just knew I couldn't do it on my own. And I probably could have done, but I don't know. No. I guess I would have got more money, but no, I couldn't do it. Yeah. And so anyway, I was thinking about it, and we were talking backwards and forwards. I said, well, I could bring somebody else in to play guitar or something. And I thought, well, the last time we were there was a full band, 6 of us, so we're going backwards and forwards, and I was trying to think who I could do it with. And then all of a sudden, it's like somebody, like an angel or something, said, hey, Jim. I never thought, of course, perfect. He was at my audition. He wrote the song I sang, and he started Renaissance.
Wow!
It couldn't be any better. And so I contacted Jim, and he said he was very interested. And it went from there, actually, didn't it? We said that maybe we could bring in a keyboard player or a guitarist. We weren't really sure, were we, what we were going to do, and so all of a sudden, it came through that why don't we just bring the band? We knew that we were going to talk about everything, which was interesting for me because I love to talk, and I talk too much, really. But and so it came to the end, and it was like, oh, well, why don't we just bring the band back, into the whole thing. So as it was September, I thought, well, a lot of the band members are going to have work. I was worried about Jim, because Jim's been working a lot as well. And so We decided to do that, contacted the band. They shifted dates around to accommodate it. It was short notice, so we didn't know how many shows we could get because Jim had to be back in England by the 6th of December or something like that, Jim.
Yeah.
Around that time. So we were limited to the time, and like most bands, everybody that's touring, it's 6 months to a year before they do any shows. They have to book way ahead. So we didn't know if there would be anything available, but in the end, we got 4 shows, and so it's we start rehearsing soon. Jim, do you want to take over now? To say a little bit?
I'm rehearsing already because I'm a bit rusty on the acoustic guitar, No, but we've been doing this chatting.
I've got to move the cat. Sorry, carry on.
We've been doing this chatting with the Yardbirds show. We did a tour in April in the US, March, April, and we did about 10 dates, and I was chatting through the history with the group as well as playing all the songs. That people really liked it, and actually one of the guys who was actually the harmonica player, he played some drums as well. So he played songs on drums, so I didn't have to keep going backwards and forwards.
Brilliant.
And it works well with the talking. People are very interested.
I think they are, because sometimes with bands like yourselves, I'm thinking of bands like Renaissance, Gentle Giant, and Van Graph Generator. There's more kind of complex and music to when I was like a kid growing up. Then I was into Slade, T-Rex, and then I progressed to Led Zeppelin and stuff. But there was these other bands out there on the horizon who did this more complex kind of classical tinge stuff that I wasn't quite ready for. But now, later in my life, I'm totally ready, and I obviously I really love the music, and I wonder there's probably lots of people who've become fans of Renaissance who missed out on when the albums are coming out in real time. So those stories really bring that era to life, don't they?
And we started when we formed the band. We started that sound. It was just by accident, because John Hawkin, the keyboard player, he was a rock and roll player. He played with the Nashville Teens. So he was used to doing like Jerry Lee Lewis. And all of a sudden, out of one of the ideas that we had, Keith, Ralph and I, he suddenly played Beethoven. And we said, "Oh, that's great. That's really interesting. Let's keep that in," and then it went from there. And so that's how it was born. But it was really an accident. We were just jamming, and it came out. And then it it blossomed into the later band. They've really done loads and loads of that stuff now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Tell them where the name came from.
Yeah, the name.
Oh, the name. Yeah, the name was funny because when we started the band, we'd left the Yardbirds. We got a bit fed up with playing that stuff, and we were all very tired from being on the road. And so we were recommended to all of the individual people in the band, and they all came round my house. I lived in a little sort of cottage house in Molesey near Hampton Court in Surrey, and we set all the gear up in my back room, and we were just jamming, and I lived there on my own. I didn't have a family. I wasn't married then, and so I had a lodger. Which I guess what would you call in America? You call it something else, and a lodger, don't you? A flatmate or something. And we said we were trying to think of a name. We had all these ideas, and he came up with Renaissance.
Oh wow!
He said about Renaissance, and so he thought of the name, and now he's been forgotten about.
That's funny.
That is.
It's a big name. My God.
It is. Well, it's big music. I mean, Annie, you're your background, your kind of like classical studies and stuff, did it set you up to be able to sing the music that was starting to emerge from the band? Because any other band, if they suddenly decided, let's go down this kind of neoclassical route, it might have been that some singers thought, well, that wasn't what I thought we were going to do. But
no. I before that, I was in a cabaret group. And called the Gentle People. We played before the main show. They had a main show, and we played when people were eating, and then when they were dancing afterwards. I loved it. I loved every second of it, and because they had dancers, and we all shared the same room, and it was exactly as you'd imagine it. People singing, everything. It's fantastic. And I wore a red mini dress. It was a mini dress, and like silver lame shoes.
Lovely.
But not high heels. I'm not a high heel girl. No. So anyway, I did that, and I had a boyfriend called Eric at the time, and he's the one who heard me singing at a party and said, we should put you in some talent competitions. And then so I was winning them. But I was totally opposite from all the other singers. They were all like busty and high heels and look at me kind of thing. And I was like kind of shy. And then there was an advert for the Showboat in the Strand. And so I thought, well, I'll try for it. I was a bit nervous. I got the job. And then after 6 months, the guitarist David Gardner said, Annie, he said, your voice is wasted here. I was doing, by the time I get to Phoenix and dancing in the street, having a gila with a tambourine with ribbons, it wasn't really me at all, but it was a good start. And so I thought that, okay, so, and the ad said, girl singer wanted for international pop group.
Wow.
So I had no idea what it was going to be at all. And I wasn't somebody who would be listening to the radio and have like certain people that they loved. I didn't know about what I was going to do about anything at that time. Really odd. When I was 22, I think 22, 23. And anyway, so I called up, and they said the band was Renaissance. They were touring in Europe, and I got the album, and we set an audition date, which was, I think it was either a New Year's Eve 1970 or it was New Year's Day, and I'm not quite sure which it was, but I was thinking it was New Year's Eve, and I went through the audition. I was wearing a long tapestry coat, Biba coat. My hair was parted in the middle, and I looked the part. Oh. And as soon as I walked in, I felt everybody else looked the part as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Michael Dunford was wearing. I thought, gosh, he's handsome. And he had these. Maroon or purplish velvet pants tucked into his leather boots, like high leather boots. And I thought, oh my, I feel good here, I like this. And I'd learned everything on the album. The album was the album called Kings and Queens, Jim, or was it just Renaissance?
Ireland or Kings and Queens? I think probably Ireland. You did.
Okay, I didn't see it. I remember seeing the cover, like the desert picture and everything on there. And so I learned that song. I learned everything on there, and they asked me to sing Ireland. I got the job. They called me up the next morning, and I'd forgotten that I'd sang it live with the band. I'd forgotten all about that. There's so many things. That's why. I mean, it's how many years? You can't keep it all in there, can you? How can you? It's.
Yeah,
especially me. My mind's always racing. So as I'm getting older, I don't know why. You think I'd be calming down, but anyway, I got that. And my audition. Tell them about the audition, Jim. You were there.
I think I remember you were like a standout. You because you had it all worked out. You'd rehearsed all the songs, hadn't you?
Yeah,
you learned all the songs. And it sounded really good. I remember, this is great, fantastic. Because by that time, Keith and I had decided we didn't want to be on the road again in a band. We got a bit fed up with the Yardbirds before, playing every night, and we just thought, oh, we're going back into being on the road again, So we wanted to take a back seat, and I was going to write the songs, and he was going to produce, Keith. And so the band, basically, all the original members all left, and we got these other people in. And I think Annie was one of the last. You were one of the last people in, weren't you?
Was that what, for an audition?
It all changed over to the the classic lineup with John and Mickey and all them.
Yeah, that came after, didn't it? Yeah, when I was in the band, it was a 6-piece band, and I got to sing Island and Face of Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the band moved forwards then to this more kind of complex neoclassical type stuff, I mean, you had Betty Thatcher was writing the lyrics. Was that was quite? It wasn't that common for bands to have lyricists back then, and did that take pressure off you in having to write lyrics, or did you find that more interesting expressing what the words meant to you rather than having created them yourself?
She was phenomenal. I mean, I wasn't writing songs then, but Jim was still writing for the band. He wrote Things I Don't Understand, which is one of the big ones, and Bound for Infinity. We're on the Frontier.
Yes. Well, actually, Betty was recommended by Jane because Jane used to live down in Cornwall.
That's right, isn't that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I think Jane used to work for that Bernard Leach, that Potter. And she knew Betty. She was a friend of Betty's, and she said to me, "Oh, there's this woman, that one of my neighbours, and she's a really good poet. And why don't you have a look at her poems and see what you make of them?" So I saw these poems and I thought, oh, these are nice, because I was very lazy and I didn't want to write, I thought, I'll just write the tune and I don't have to worry about the lyrics. So I made some of the songs into some of the poems into songs. I think Bound for Infinity was one of the earliest ones, which you did on your prologue album, wasn't it, Annie?
Yeah.
And that was a nice song. That was a lovely.
Oh, gorgeous songs. Yeah. Actually, I just remembered one of your questions. The question before, Phil, was about my voice and the band, right? Yeah. Because I'd already been to, before I joined the Gentle People, I'd already been to I was going to go to Harold Miller. I'd had not an audition, but I wanted him to teach me, but unfortunately I had a day job, but I went to see him and he could only teach in the day, so I went anyway just because I wanted to meet him. He taught, he was Shirley Bassey's teacher.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so he was fantastic. He was an older man, and I couldn't read music because he said, "Can you read?" I said, "No, I don't read. I'm not a reader." And then he said, "Can you sing if I play I Could Have Danced All Night?" And I did, and of course, perfect key for me, perfect for my voice, and he did say my voice was different, and he would love to work with me, but he said he only worked, so he sent me to a lady called Sybil Knight, who was an opera singer, and that's where I found my 5 octaves with her. And so then I was just kind of just waiting for that time, Started off with the Gentle People, and then I got my friend David Gardner put me on the right road, Amazing.
Wow, brilliant. I'm going to mention one of my favourite albums by the band is the one that only Sue can pronounce.
Scheherazade.
I know. A lot of people Scheherazade, they get one. And it was all through the whole of this thing where he was critiquing it. And he's a great guy. He's done a lot of our stuff, and he's cried. You see him crying when he's crying on the screen, but some of the stuff. And but I think he called it Scheherazade or something. He said, "I don't know if that's right." And by the end of it, something happened, and I think it was just as he was starting it, and John Camp does the speech at the beginning about Scheherazade, and he went, "Oh, this is Scheherazade."
He's saying it.
Beautiful album, but that track is Magnificent.
I wonder how many extra fans the band picked up because of the song that Blackmore's Night did from that album, that people didn't realise it was a Renaissance song.
Yeah.
Because I wonder, would you agree that the internet has kind of enhanced the brand name Renaissance and made more people discover you?
Same for everybody, all bands, really.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, the doors open, but then doors opened for bootlegging and all that kind of thing as well.
That's very true.
Some people still think it's okay, but it's not.
It's not. No, it's
taking away the livelihood of the people that have made the albums and stuff.
But I've got to say, though, Annie, you did have a lot of staying power. You kept at it. You kept going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did lots of albums, and that was great, to your credit.
Yeah, no, I'm not I can't explain, even like when I said I was retiring the band, and I hadn't retired my voice, but it's just the touring. I mean, my voice kept up really well because I was never a smoker, but very rarely, but years and years ago, but not even social, I don't drink very much. And I did a couple of naughty, silly cigarettes once, but because the band were having a huge argument at the what was that place called? The Roundhouse. The Roundhouse.
Yeah.
Camden. Roundhouse, and we were playing there. We were on a bill with Kevin Ayres' Gong and people like Hawkwind were on that. She wore different clothes than me, though, didn't she? The dancer. She was,
not many at all.
There was a huge argument, and it was not nice. And John Tapp lit up a silly cigarette, and they were all arguing, and I said, "Give me that, give me that thing. Let me have it, And I puffed, and I couldn't control myself. I mean, I didn't like it. No, I didn't do anything naughty. Probably they could have took advantage of me, all of them, but they didn't. No, I didn't like not being in control, but I did it to show them. Look, will you shut up arguing? Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing, and so kind of stop the whole thing. And then everybody was fine. So I never really did that. But I do have some other stories, but we haven't got time now.
I just want to mention Northern Lights, though, because it's another one of those moments which must have opened up more windows and doors to people knowing about the band. Because that we watched it on the clip from Top of the Pops yesterday, and I remember seeing it at the time because your voice and the band was so different to everything else that was sitting in front and behind it. It was and punk, wasn't it? And there was this beautiful, pure voice and this song, but it resonated, and it still does, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a brilliant song. Yeah. We were recording Song for All Seasons, the album. Yeah. That came after, what year was that? I think 77, so 76, 77. Anyway,
77, I think,
just finished my Annie and Wonderland album with Roy Wood, and I'd done so many different things with my voice that I'd never done before. I learned a lot from Roy, and one of the things that he wanted that I opposed to start with was treble tracking my voice for a lead on a lead line, and so, but I did it, I did lots of things on that album, and when we did Northern Lights, we recorded it, and I did my lead and everything, but it was something missing. So I just said, "Can we do, Roy?" And I remember telling them, "Look, I just did treble tracking on my voice in Annie and Wonderland. Let's do it on this. Let's see what it." And that's how we did it, and it just lifted it,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, by that time, Betty really got the hang of songwriting. Because she went from being a poet to a songwriter. And
Oh, she was brilliant.
That was a really good lyric.
Yeah. Mother Russia, some of them are fantastic. And also different from each other as well.
Yeah, because there's a big difference between being a poet and a songwriter, because when you're a poet, you don't realise that someone's got to try and make this fit into a verse or chorus. And when people people can end up like... trying to really speed it up as they trying to fit in the extra words in, don't they? But yeah.
I remember, sorry. I remember when Mickey Dunford came round to my house and with some new songs, and he'd got like one of those little Panasonic. Did you have one of those little Panasonic things? Yeah, but we all had those, didn't we?
Yeah.
Four buttons, rewind, fast forward, stop, and record.
Yeah.
And he brought that with him, and his guitar. And he gave me the words, and he said it's called Mother Russia, and he had to play it. And obviously, you know, people that write songs have got everything in their head. They know what what's going to come in and what's going to work, what's not. And he saw all these different things happening with Mother Russia, but it was just, you know, some words to me, and I couldn't quite get it. And he said, and this part here, he said, you're going to be singing these high notes. I said, really? And, you know, that's when we started to put more vocalese into the songs as well, you know. But gosh, it was. I remember him playing it to me, and you know, when you hear something the first time, it's difficult if you're not a musician, because a musician has more idea of where it's going to go. But I don't play an instrument. You know, so, but I was thinking, well, it sounds all right, you know. And then, my God, with orchestra on it as well, my gosh.
Yeah. Has your art always been part of your creative process, or is it something that came later?
Well, I went to art school to be a dress designer, and I did fashion drawing there and that kind of thing. I only did one painting. I did a watercolor, and I put it down after 5 minutes, maybe less, because it was drying before it was finished. I thought, oh, I don't like this. And that was the first time and last time I'd done a painting until when I was with Roy and we were doing Annie in Wonderland. I started doodling. You know, just when you're in the studio and there's nothing for you to do, then you sit there and do things, right? So I did some of that because I found some of the things I did recently, but I never thought of being a painter at all. And when I was winding down my solo career, I thought, oh God, what am I going to do? You know. And then I was in my den, and a voice in my head said, it's time to start oil painting now.
Oh, goodness.
Clear as day. Wow. So I went out, changed my sunroom into a studio because it's nearly all glass. Got everything I needed for oil painting. It was very specific. I bought a book on oil painting, but I don't read. So I read one page and put it down because I like to learn things myself. Yeah. You know, like instructions, which you shouldn't learn yourself. You should follow them. But I still do. I follow them a bit, and then I think I can't be bothered because it's this long, you know. And I do it wrong, and then I'll do it right the next time. So, and when I didn't paint, I got everything in the studio that I needed: oil paints, easels, canvases, everything I needed, brushes, and I didn't do anything for 2 months. Because the timing wasn't right. I wasn't sure where to start, what to do. I woke up one morning, picked a tiger lily out of the garden, you know, the big orange lilies.
Oh, yes.
And picked one of those up. And I thought, oh, well, where do I begin? Because I didn't read the book. And so I just kind of made it up. I did that. Well, I'll do the sky first, then I'll do something at the bottom. No, I did the bottom last, and then I thought, what am I doing? And I thought it wasn't right. All of it was wrong. But when I got to the grass pad, I felt like somebody was holding my hand, and it started to get all waving, and it was that the wind was moving this grass at the bottom. So the next painting I did a field of grass. That's just grass. And then the next one was a UFO over the ocean.
Oh.
And then I did a lot of interplanetary things. My first lot of paintings, where they came from, I don't know. They probably, but yeah, that's how I started, and I just love it with the same passion as I love singing.
But you did the backdrops, didn't you? For the
backdrop? That was fantastic. Well, we did. It was 2017, and we had our own. We gathered our own orchestra together, 10-piece orchestra. And I decided that I would put I'd do these 10 paintings, which are for the songs, paint the songs, and then 12 by 24 they were, and we enlarged them to 12 foot by 24 foot, and they sat behind the orchestra. Wow. Oh, I mean, it was a dream come true to be with
That's
first
it.
with
It looks
orchestra
good.
again, and then my paintings at the same time. It was almost too much for me to be able to concentrate on singing. It's called the Symphonic Journey. You can get it through Cherry Red Records. I think they still have it, but it was a masterpiece. And then we did the same thing with My Art and Everything for the 50th, and that's when we flew over Jim.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Annie, I love the fact that you paint your songs.
Yes.
I love that. I love the fact that art and music are very much entwined with each other. Which comes first? How do you go about it? Or is it different every
time? To think where it came from, how I started that, because I paint guitars as well and violins.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I think I have I have a good feeling that I have this what they call synesthesia.
Oh yes, I know what you mean. Is that when you can see?
Well, there's different parts to it. There's people that can smell colour.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Michael McGlynn who has a beautiful Irish choral group that's really is so huge now, called Anuna. I don't know if you know them. Oh my gosh, please look at them up. You're blown away. Blown away.
Good.
Yeah. You know them, Jim?
No?
You've heard of Anuna?
Heard them, yeah. They're good, very good.
They started off doing the music for Riverdance.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
that's right.
Yeah, and then it just expanded. But he was telling me that when he writes like modern classical music, which is phenomenal and it's wonderful, as well as very old things as well. And he said that when he writes the music out, he sees it in colour.
Oh, amazing.
It comes out. He sees it all in colour.
Gosh.
So it's just and apparently John Mayer is another one. You know, the guitarist.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So he has a form of it. But somebody wrote to me and said, I think that when I paint, if I'm just, because I'm full of it now because I've been doing all these other things, so I'm backed up with stuff. I can feel it inside and it's dying to come out. I don't think of anything.
No.
It pours out. The colours, I just randomly pick them. I don't go, well, I'll do this and I'll do this. It pours out. So the painting, the songs, I think I started to do that when I did the backdrop paintings. I think that you could go back to that point. And then I advertised that when we did a crowdfunding project that I would do a painted song. And so what I ask people to do if they commission me is they tell me the thoughts, that what comes to them when they're hearing the song, how it makes them feel, and I paint the feelings. So every person, if I've done about 5 or 6 ashes of burning, they're all completely different because it's people's feelings.
Wow,
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Did you do the Symphony of Light? Did you do that one?
Yeah, Symphony of Light. Yeah, I did Leonardo. Well, I did my interpretation of Leonardo, which is just phenomenal. I've got definitely. I've done a couple of paintings of his spirit in there, definitely.
Yeah.
Gosh, fantastic!
Yeah.
I know. We've got a Cornish connection as well, haven't we? Because Phil and I live in Cornwall, and you used to live in Cornwall, didn't you, Annie? Did you find the Cornish landscape inspire you at all?
Well, I left there when I was. Well, I wasn't even singing, and I was at art school, but I wasn't. Yeah, I was at art school, but oh God, it was a wonderful place to live. We went there for my mother's health, and you're going on your holidays. You're going to live to a place where you're going on your holidays. You know, and oh my God, beautiful. What a fantastic place. Yeah.
Wow. So going back to these gigs that are coming up and the stories, when you starting to rehearse, do you also sit down together and work out what stories you're going to tell, not just the music, because there must be so much to put in.
No, well, we've got 30 minutes. That's going to be a push, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah.
You're going to each other stop. But we haven't actually. I mean, because I've been doing all these other things up till now. And I've got two more big things to do actually once they're finished, paintings wise. Then I can completely put my whole being into it, which I've been stopped by the painting. And also I just did Progstock recently, which is a prog festival in New Jersey every year that happens. And so I took my art there, and
well, the story has to link in with the backdrop. That's the thing. So you have to have a script.
True.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, Jim's done it before, thank goodness. Otherwise, it would be two of us bringing it. But we'll work. It'll be fine. I mean, I think just my head is not clear enough right now. I mean, I'm. It's just it can't be. You can't fit that much in. Keep doing things.
No, it can. So you didn't know that you were going to be doing these new kind of hybrid concert storytelling things at all?
No. I thought I was just going to be, working on a new website, which is what I am doing, and focusing on my art. And if anything came forward that anybody wanted me to perform with them or whatever, then I'd look at that.
So, because the obvious question would be, what will happen in 2026? Could this be almost an annual thing where you do a bit of storytelling in a few songs, or?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to come on stage with a frame or a stick. I'm not doing that.
You'd like to do it in England, though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh, we see. There you go. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're both on a creative. The journey's been supercharged. Your paintings that you've got backed up in your mind. Can't wait to get out.
We've got 4 days off after the first two before Newton, and the first two are in Edwardsville at the Widely Theatre, the 21st and 22nd of November. Lovely little theatre. That's the one we did last year, and then we've got 4 until the 28th. So we've got 4 days, haven't we? We get back on we're leaving on the 23rd, so we've got 24, 25, 26, 27. We've got 4 days, but I already have some lyrics that I'd like to use, so we're going to write a song together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because I love Jim's melodies, and funnily enough, we got together with Louis, didn't we? Jim, I think it was in the 90s. I have a feeling.
Was it? Yeah,
I think it was. I found.
But you were still in England, weren't you? I think you were still living in Surrey.
Maybe it was probably early 90s then, because I moved in 91, so could have been 80s.
Yes, it could have been.
It's on the tape, because I found the tape and I played it, and we didn't finish anything, but I remember, I think you said to me, well, just make some words up. And I wasn't actually hadn't really started writing lyrics at that point either, so my brain wasn't in that mode. I don't know what I say. Well, I do, because it's not very good, but the melody is incredible. So and I played it down the phone to you, didn't I, the other day? You heard, and such a beautiful. What?
I forgot all about that one.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, fantastic.
So now based on how your mind works around visually and words, when you're writing lyrics now, Annie, are you almost seeing images to go with them, or are you seeing words when you paint images?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think of anything when I'm painting other than what I'm doing, and I don't think of anything when I'm writing words on it. I think that I've written some good words, but I mean, I could never say that I'm as good as Betty, because it's silly to say it's good. It's different, But
it's different. Yeah, it's different.
The poet, and her words were just incredible. But I did write when I started writing with Mickey, and we did a song called Grande Neo Vento, and then we did Symphony of Light. He didn't want to do Symphony of Light because I said I wanted to do a song about Leonardo da Vinci. He said it's too literal. And I said, well, have you heard the song Starry, Starry Night?
No.
Who's that about? He said, I don't know. I said, it was Van Gogh, a painter.
Oh, is it really? Wow.
Yeah.
Song that. Yeah.
Starry, Starry Night. Yes, Starry, Starry Night.
Yeah.
And so in the end, he gave me a CD of the first part of Symphony of Light, and I didn't. We didn't argue, but he said, "No, I don't want to do it." He was really insistent. He didn't want to do anything like that. But I thought, well, I'm going to put something down and see what he thinks. So I wrote that. On my way home from the studio, I stopped 2 or 3 times because the words were pouring out.
Oh,
Wow.
Without any effort whatsoever. And so I put them all down, and then he was blown away. It's one of his favourite songs. It became one of his favourite songs.
One of Mickey's favourites.
Well, it became one of his favourites, yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's so beautiful, though. Oh, my God.
It's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
So my final question to both, I'll start with you, Jim, first of all. Are there, with this coming up, are there any specific songs that you're really looking forward to playing? I know you probably say all of them, but is there something in particular that this is going to be really good to play with Annie and the band?
It's very interesting because I'm going to do a couple of songs I did with another project after Renaissance. It was called Shoot.
Yeah.
And a couple of songs, and one of the songs got a lot of airplay down in the station in St. Louis where we're playing. So apparently people really remember it. So we're going to do that one. And the other one, On the Frontier, was one that was covered by...
yeah, we did it. It's on Prologue.
Yeah.
It's on Prologue, right? Yeah.
I think so. And
on Prologue, yeah.
And your version is very good. I like your version.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then we're doing a couple of songs that I'm really looking forward to. Jim's Space of Yesterday.
Oh yes, another sort of.
I think we're doing Ireland with the band because we're doing all. Yeah, I think we're doing Ireland with the band.
Yeah,
which it sounds great with them. And Madonna Blue. Should we be talking with songs? I think so. And that was Isadora, which is just absolute. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, these are Illusion songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going right back to the beginning. Yeah.
Interesting for me,
Yeah.
to sing along on an Illusion song. So I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always say when I talk to people that we always expect musicians to go, well, what were you doing in 1970? But if anyone in the audience, what you were doing in 1985, wouldn't have a clue. But I mean, for instance, Annie, when you mentioned the audition, you remembered what people were wearing more than the name of the album.
It did look good, I tell you. The handsome man, like, woo!
Brains are obviously intact, aren't they, Annie? Our brains are still working.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute joy to talk to you both. Thank you, Annie, and thank you, Jim. It's been brilliant, and I'll put the links to the gigs at the bottom of the YouTube description on the website. But thank you so much from both of us.
Yes, thank you.
It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. When do you think you'll be?
Fun.
When will this be go? This will go out probably beginning of next week now.
Oh, right. Let me know, will you? Then I'll make sure.
I'll send you the link so you can see it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, and take care, both of you. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you.
Stay safe.
Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was fun before we started recording.
Yeah, it was actually. We were having a great laugh, and it was just so easy to talk to both Annie and Jim.
Yeah, fabulous.
And I'm sure we could have gone on for a lot longer listening to the stories. So we hope we're going to be able to have them both on again as guests. But that was absolutely a joy, wasn't it?
Really, really was.
Renaissance are just one of those bands that sound timeless. It's uplifting music. It's complex. Back in the day, it was a kind of music where I was listening to so many different things, but now I think, for the internet, and when you look online, bands like this and Gentle Giant and that they're just more popular than they've probably ever been. And Annie's voice is just fantastic.
Gorgeous.
And I'll be honest, we didn't know Jim was going to join us. That was a complete surprise.
That was an added bonus.
That was an absolute added bonus. But what great stories. But the gigs, the links will be underneath the description in this video. And also if you're listening on the podcast, it will also be in the description there. But also go to anniehaslam.com where you can see lots of her beautiful paintings and find out what she's up to. I think she said her website's been redone at the moment.
Website, isn't she?
But it was absolutely wonderful hearing about her art, wasn't it?
Amazing to hear all about her paintings and everything that she does.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and she's lived in Cornwall. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So thank you, all of you, for watching. Thank you for being here. Please check out the podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon. Check out the website at nowspinning.co.uk and also the YouTube channel. And if you become a patron or YouTube member, you can join our private communities on Facebook and on WhatsApp. You can even get money off our merch. And we have our own private virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms, which meets up twice a month. But thank you from me, and a thank you from Sue. And we'll see you again on a future episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.